Yo, what's up everybody? It's Victon here with my first currency making strategy of the league. This is going to be a series, so I'm probably going to have several more of these. For example, the next one I'm going to make is my bossing strategy that I use. But in this one, we're going to be going over how much you can make by just straight up rolling sextants. This is a strat that I've done multiple leagues before, and it's always actually super profitable. Not a whole lot of people know about it or do it or something. It's also a little bit tedious. Like, it's definitely a hideout warrior strat. You do everything from your hideout. You could literally do this with like a level 1 character technically, because you just got to be able to trade. So yeah, so it's super easy. I typically, when I do like a session of farming this, I spend like 20 to 30 minutes doing it, and in the past I've made upwards of like multiple divines worth in that short amount of time. It's also something that you could kind of do if you're just chilling, right? You don't want to necessarily go out and do anything crazy. You just kind of want to chill in your hideout while you're watching some Netflix or something. Also pretty cool. And it is minimal brain activity, which is nice as well. One thing that I would definitely make sure to do is have not the app extension, but it's like the app that you can download on a computer. It's called Awaken PoE Trade. I know some people also use PoE Overlay. Get one of those two. I personally use Awaken PoE Trade, and the reason we're doing that is so that you can price check all of these sextants on the go very easily, so you know which ones to save and which ones to not. Now, the more you do this, the faster you're going to get at knowing which ones sell and which ones don't. And then, like I said, I take like 20 minutes to go through several hundred sextants, and I sell them. I'm in and out. I make some good currency, and I move on. Now, the question is it good this league? I'm interested to see it because it's a little bit different than it has been several other leagues. Chaos orbs are very cheap this league, so like a divine is 200 chaos right now. Some of the farming strats for the Atlas are new as well. Like, a whole bunch of people are kind of coming out with new strats, so things are kind of going up and down and up and down. There's always, of course, going to be the ones that just sell no matter what, which we'll definitely see in this example. But yeah, this could change over the course of the league as well. So what I think this video is going to do is basically tell us generally, hey, right now at this point in the league, is this a decent strat for super low time investment and brain power investment? The currency investment is as much or as little as you want it to be as well, right? So you could just do this for 20 minutes or you could do this for 2 hours. It just depends on how much currency you have and want to invest in this. What I did for my specific strat here is this. I spent about 500 chaos on sextants. I bought them at 2.5 chaos per sextant, and I bought 200 of them. That's not like a huge sample, but it's a decent enough sample to where I can kind of get a start on this and kind of get an idea of if I want to do more as a full-on strat, right? We'll pretty much know if this is a good strat within that time frame. So before we actually get into the strat, there's a couple things that you need to know before you do it, right? So step one is you need to make sure that you have this on your Atlas. Enduring Influence, sextant modifiers have one additional use. That's going to make your modifiers or your sextants go from 3 uses remaining to 4 uses remaining. Very important, because no one really wants to buy 3 uses remaining sextants when you could buy a 4 one, right? And you're just getting essentially, what, 33% increased value out of it for just that one node. So very good over there. The second thing that you want to know is that in order to make this work, you need the compasses. And in order to purchase a compass, you go to Commander Kirak over here. You're going to purchase, and these cost 1 chaos a piece. So 1 chaos for those. And I purchased in my set of 200. I spent 90 chaos, so I bought 90 of these. To make the sextant, to take it off of your tree and put it onto the compass. I think that I probably spent around 10 to 15, even maybe 20 more than most people will, just because I was testing, like, oh, you know, this looks good, but I wonder how much currency it is. Let's just test it right quick. So I used the compass, and then I price checked it, and I was like, oh yeah, that's terrible. I would never do that, right? So I think most people out of 200 would probably spend about an additional 70 chaos on the compasses. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to go ahead and say that I spent 90. So I'm at a total investment right now of 590 chaos, which is 2.95 divines. So I'll need to make that back in order to say, not even just make that back, but make that back and some profit on the back end to say that this is a good strat. The time it takes to do this is very good, right? So in 200 uses of the sextants. That took me about 20 minutes to use them all and to put them all on compasses and to price check them all. So very quick for about 200. So you can't go through a lot of currency really fast if you're doing this just like back to back to back. Like last league, or not last league, the league before this, I actually did this as one of my main strats, and I made so much currency doing this. I just like turn on some Netflix and I would just do this and chill. So like that's another thing, right? Like I said, you can just kind of chill while you're doing this. You don't even have to go out and map and slay and go crazy. You can just chill, do this in your hideout, do some freaking homework, do, you know, watch some shows, whatever. So that's kind of why I like this strat. But is it profitable, this league? That is the question. So what I did was I already rolled all these. I put them in a little category here right now. I'm not going to go over like the prices of them all. What I might do actually is give you guys like a spreadsheet for all of this and kind of so you can see basically my whole test. And if you're really curious, you can go in there and see how much each of these costs. I'll probably at least kind of show you guys some of the more expensive ones to look out for. And I think I can probably remember how much they cost, so we'll kind of go over it. I don't want the video to take too long, but we'll still do that. Before we do that though, one last thing that you do need to do for this strat is you do need all 4 of your watchstones. I would absolutely suggest you guys have all 4 of your watchstones, because here's how you're going to do your watchstones. You're actually going to do sextant blocking, and you need to do that before you actually start rolling your sextants. So what I mean by sextant blocking is you're going to take 3 of your watchstones and put bad sextants on them. So typically the ones that are the worst are the ones that are very common and that no one wants, right? So for example, these, you know, players and monsters take 12% increased lightning damage, fire damage, cold damage, physical, chaos, all that, right? Those are very common. You want to put those on here so that on your 4th watchstone, you can use that to roll. And when you roll that 4th watchstone, it will not roll those other 3. So you're blocking some bad modifiers on there. You're still going to get other bad modifiers that are pretty common, like the, you know, the cluster barrels, or monsters that convert, all that sort of stuff, but you can only block 3, and that's what I would block. I'd block these right here. So that was the last piece here that I would suggest before you actually start kind of rolling this. So anyways, let's go back to my stash tab here, and let's talk about a couple things, because the other thing that I like about this strat is that not all of these will always sell. Like some of the lower ones, the cheap ones, you wouldn't necessarily sell, but you might actually use them yourself, right? So in a couple different strats, you might be using some cheaper ones and some common ones, and that's pretty nice. Like for example, this is my bossing character right now, but I'm going to eventually make a mapping character, and I'm going to probably make a shrine build. So with that, there are ones like this that your map contains an additional gloom shrine, which is crazy because that is basically explode. So when you kill monsters, they explode. And 50% increased duration of shrine effects. You can get your shrines lasting like 2 minutes. I think it's like either 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes. It's bonkers. So throwing one of these on your build when you have the shrine build is just crazy. But these are cheap, right? These are like, I think this one specifically, the gloom one, is about 5 chaos. And then the resonating shrine one's only 3 chaos. So super cheap. If you aren't running this build yourself, you might actually just not take this. I would probably take the gloom one, but not like the, you know, the resonating shrine one. But it's an example of something that might be specific to your build or your Atlas strat that you might want to take, even though they're cheap. And since you're rolling all these, you could just kind of go ahead and just take some for yourself, right? So like for example, the essence ones like these, right? I think they're kind of expensive. Let's see, they're about 5 chaos, but they're also pretty common, and a lot of people run essences on their Atlas strats. So this is a really good one that you would probably just keep yourself and run, or if you're not running essences, like I'm not running essences in my strat, I would sell this, and 5 chaos isn't too bad, and they're relatively common as well. So yeah, stuff like that is pretty good, but all of these over here are not that great. You guys will see that in the Google Doc sheet if you guys really want to take a look and see which ones are the best ones to take. But here's the good ones. Anything on this side over here, what I did was these are basically at least 5 chaos, upwards of, I think the most expensive one I got was maybe like 35 chaos, something like that. And again, I'm not going to go over all these specifically, but I'll at least show you some of the good ones. You know, Hunter Traders, I think that's probably worth about 5 chaos. The strong box ones, anytime you get a strong box one, that's always good. There's 2 different kind of tiers of the strong boxes. Like this is the lower one. This is about 6 chaos. Or you can do if you find this other one, let's see, I have one in here. If I could actually type, that would be nice. Strong. This one up here, if you get this one, that's pretty good. 5% increased item quantity on strong boxes. That one I think is actually worth quite a bit. This one is worth, yeah, like this one's worth like 35 chaos. Pretty good on that one. You've got increased magic pack size. That's worth like 5 chaos. Your maps can contain additional breach. That's pretty good. I think these are about 5 chaos as well. Your maps contain an additional abyss. Same thing. It's about 5 chaos. Pretty solid. Your maps contain June. This is actually a really good one. This is about 20 chaos. Your maps contain Alva. This is about 20. Oh, this is actually about 10 chaos. So not as bad. I think the June one is the best out of like all the masters. We do have currency shards for harbingers as well. This one is pretty solid. This one's about 15, 16, 17 chaos for that one. Pretty solid. These are relatively common as well. Like I got 3 of them, pretty good. And then we have Beyond. This is actually a crazy one, guys. This one is not too expensive. My Wake Up PoE trade is not working here, so let me just take a look on this and tell you guys how much it cost. Slaying enemies closer together. Slaying. I think this one is worth... Yeah, so this one's actually not too bad. It's about 10 chaos for this one. And it's really good. It's really good. Beyond is an interesting mechanic this league, and it drops a lot of the tainted currency. Like, so tainted fusings are worth like 25 C a piece right now. And it's also 25% increase beyond demon pack size in your map. So this is actually a pretty good one. And these are about 10 chaos. We also have create a copy of Beast in your maps. These are pretty good. These are about, I think, like 20 chaos. Sacred Grove, those are about 25 chaos. Pretty good. One thing to note, though, is when I was doing this, like the Sacred Grove one usually is like way higher. They're usually like 60, 70, 80 chaos. So that was a little disappointing when I saw that. Already talked about that one. So the Delirium ones are also pretty good, though. Like this one is worth about 25 chaos. For this one, Delirium bar fills 100% faster. Mirror of Delirium, it's not too crazy. I think it's about 20 chaos. Yeah, 20 chaos for that one. Legion monster, this one is pretty good. These are about 10 chaos, 10, 12 chaos as well. Legion monsters in your maps drop duplicated splinters. That is absolutely crazy for all those Legion farmers out there. Those are very good. Those sell really fast. Your maps contain additional ritual altars. This one's really good. This is about 10 chaos as well, 10, 12 chaos. Smuggler's Cache, it's about 10 chaos as well. Pack size and identified maps, that's pretty decent. So if like you're ever rolling a map and you're trying to get a juice, so you Violet, but it goes unidentified, you would use one of these in there and it gets 20% increased pack size. Pretty good. It's only 5 chaos, but they're relatively common as well. So yeah, so that's what I got. There's a couple that I didn't get that are pretty good. They're along the lines of these breach ones. So it's like the breaches in your maps contain or are Cheula, or the breaches in your maps are Olnatul, right? Those are very good right now as well. I did not get them. They're obviously quite rare. There's a couple others that are also very rare that I did not get, like the Conqueror Bobs, the Conquer, or map bosses drop Conqueror maps. So like that's a really good one as well. But yeah, this is what I got out of 200. What I want to do now is go ahead and pause the video. I'm going to come back after I have fully priced everything out and get a good idea of how much value I have in this tab right here. And I'm also going to give you guys another tip as well about how I actually sell these, because they're kind of a pain in the butt to sell these. So I'll give you a tip about that as well. So yeah, so I will pause the video and I'll be right back. Alright, I am back and we have some very interesting findings. So first thing I wanted to do is tell you guys how I list these and sell them a little bit easier, because like I said, it is actually kind of annoying to sell these. The reason it is because when you sell something, as you can see, you go in here and you can do an exact price. Let's say you say 8 chaos, right? When they message you, it's actually just going to say charged compass. Like it won't say anything about, oh, hey, this is ritual altars, right? It'll just say, I want your charged compass for 8 chaos. So if you have like an 8 chaos charged compass that has rituals, and then another one that's like, something else, you have no clue what the heck it is, right? So there's not too much that you can do to avoid that. Like if you really want to, You can do different tabs for everything, but that's kind of a pain in the ass. Basically what I do is I have a tab full of 3 chaos ones. So I'll at least know, like, if they say, hey, it's a 3 chaos sextant, I'll come here, and what I'll do is I'll type to them. I'll just say, you know, which sextant are you needing? Something like that. And I typically have that on a copy, so like maybe on a notepad to side, and I'll just, you know, enter copy, well, D&D, but you get the point, right? You enter it and you paste it in there and you message them real quick, and they'll tell you, you know, it's a rusted scarab, or it's, you know, breaches or gloom shrine or whatever. And it helps to have it in different tabs though. Like for example, it's a 5 chaos one, you know to go to this tab quickly, and you know that it'll be in this one. And then anything above 5 chaos I actually keep in the main tab here. So like I just call this one sextants, and I do individually list these, but I do not individually list all of these. That would take way too long, and it's not very efficient. But anything above that 5 chaos mark, I will go ahead. Like, as you could see, you know, 8 chaos, 10 chaos, 18 chaos. This was the best one that I found, was 30 chaos, which we'll talk about here when we talk about the results, but a little disappointing that was the best one that I found, for sure. So yeah, so that's how I do the actual selling of my sextants. Do note that there's a couple things else that you can do. If you really go hard in this strat, you can actually bulk sell these on the TFT Discord, if you guys know about that or actually like using it a lot. Some people don't like using Discords or anything outside of the game, so if that's the case, don't worry about it. But you can always, again, mention to those people, like, you know, do you need any more sextants? You know what I mean? I have a bunch, and then they can say, oh, well, do you have this, this, and this? I do that to every single person that I make this trade for. I would even literally say, like, you know, if maybe even make one copy paste, what sextant is it you need? And then question mark, do you need anything else as well? You know, something like that. I have a bunch, you know, something like that. So you just have one copy paste, and it will get you sales faster. And if you're able to sell multiple of the same thing, like for example, like these 3 chaos ones or 5 chaos ones, sometimes you can bump it up a little bit too, and you can be like, oh, well, I'll trade you 6 of these for, instead of 5 chaos, 6 chaos a piece, right? And that helps you out a little bit, make a little bit more profit. So that's what I would do as far as that. Now let's go ahead and talk about the actual what we made here. So let's pull this out, and here we go. So here is our depressing spreadsheet. So as you can tell up here, let's just go over kind of what you're looking at here. So sextants, I spent 2.5 chaos on each one. I bought 200 of them. Again, that's not like the craziest sample size, but I thought that was pretty decent enough to know if this strat is going in the right direction or not. The compasses are 1 chaos each. I made 90 of them. Again, I think you could probably would only need like 70, but it's okay. Total investment was 590 chaos, which was 2.95 divines. And here is what I made for the profits, right? So these, I didn't actually put what they were, but anything that was in that 3 chaos tab, I had 45 of those sextants. And that's honestly, those are not even guaranteed to sell, right? They'll probably sell, but it might take a little bit. The 5 chaos ones will probably definitely sell. I had 24 of those. That was definitely the bulk of my profit for sure. Ritual altars, I had 1 of those, 8 chaos. Legion splinters, I had 2 of those for 10 chaos. The deli mirror one, 2 for 18 chaos piece. The deli bar one, I had 1 for 18. The 500% quantity box, I feel like that's a little bit more common than I got. I think I got a little bit unlucky on that one. And it was the most expensive one by far too, which was kind of disappointing. I had 1 of those. Sacred Grove, I had 2 of them for 16. Double Beasts, copy of the Beast, 1 for 10. Beyond, 2 for 8. Harbingers, 3 for 15. So I am, after I sell all of this, which, you know, what you'll probably actually sell like pretty quick is anything like this. So that's 335 chaos. So that's definitely a loss. But once you sell these, you're at 470, which is also a loss as well. So technically, I'm probably going to come out of this and lose about a divine. So pretty unfortunate. I definitely, at the current state of the game in this league specifically, would not recommend doing the strat for profit, which is crazy because this is the first time that I've ever said that. The strat is usually very good. A lot of the times in the past, you could double your investment pretty easily, but now we're losing by quite a bit. Or not a divine, but like half a divine, right? 0.6 of a divine that I lost. So yeah, I don't think it's good. I don't think you guys should do this for profit. Obviously, if you are just rolling them to roll them to have fun, just because you got some, definitely do that, no problem. But what I would say is if you're trying to get something a little bit more rare, go ahead and purchase them because they are cheaper than they probably have ever been. And it is pretty good to just go ahead and buy it instead of trying to roll them yourself. So if anything, we did learn that in this video. So at least I hoped I helped you guys out in that way, and I hope I stopped maybe some of you guys that were thinking about doing this strat. That was like, oh yeah, I used to make a ton of profit doing this. Let's see how it is this league. I did it for you. I suffered for you. I lost currency for you. Don't do it. This is your warning. So unfortunately, my first currency strat was a bust. Disappointing, but honestly not a big deal. I'm glad I did it for you guys, and I'm glad that I'm able to share this information with you guys. The next strat that I have for you guys is the boss farming currency strat, and that one is very good. I've made probably 50-60 divines in the past couple days just doing this bossing strat, so I'll share that with you guys in the next video. But for now, that's all I got on this one, guys. I'll catch you in the next one.